This time on Roadkill Garage, the F-Rod runs its fastest times ever. Nice work, Freiberger.
This is it, man. It has been a lot of time, a lot of hours, a lot of money, and quite a few episodes of Roadkill Garage, but we are finally going to get my F-Rod 1931 Ford Model A to the drag strip. You know Steve Dulcich. That's my buddy Sam Strube, who's handled all of the fabrication on the chassis and the roll cage and everything else. We got to hit this list right here, and then, yep, we're going to be at Famoso, making noise, making tire smoke, and hopefully making 9-second passes. Take your pick. What are you going to do?
Fix things.
Fix things. If you haven't been watching Roadkill Garage like for this whole first half of the season, I will remind you what we're doing here. We're building my 1931 Ford Model A that's called the F-Rod, or the Fraud. It is powered by 572 cubic inches of tunnel ram big block Chevy. We've got a Gearstar Power Glide in it, a Mosier 9-inch in the back. And my ultimate goal is to try and run 8s in the quarter mile, naturally aspirate, no nitrous, no boost. Now, I don't expect to actually do that with this engine. What we're doing right now is sort of assembling the car for the very first time to shake it down, make sure everything works, get all the systems functional, make sure it goes down the track. We've got the drag strip booked tomorrow for our very first test day with the car. And so I've got Sam and Steve just thrashing on it to get all of this stuff done. I've gone through our to-do list and I've marked in red everything that has to happen before tomorrow. And then we've also got a whole bunch of optional stuff that's gonna make the car look better and make us happier. So this is gonna be an all-nighter as we thrash to get it done. Steve right now is working on changing the front wheel bolt pattern so we can put on my new dish mags, which are super cool, 15 by 3.5 slots. Sam's over there working on shifter, and I'm gonna put a charge wire in the thing, and then we will just run on down the list.
What we're doing here is bleeding the brakes. Now we have Wilwood disc brakes at all 4 corners, and we have a Mopar-style master cylinder under the floorboards, basically right in front of the driver's seat. Now, because of the master cylinder position, we have residual pressure valves at 2 pounds of pressure in the front and rear brake lines to keep it from backflowing and overflowing the master cylinder. When we're done, we're gonna put the wheels back on, and that's a big step forward.
Man, this thing just keeps getting cooler and cooler. Remember, it used to have like a modern reproduction version of American straight 5-spoke on it, but on his way up here, Sam was able to buy these vintage 15 by 3.5-inch slot mags. That's really narrow and very retro, and it was even race only at the time, and you can't even buy these anymore, so this looks perfect. A lot of people, when they've seen this on social, have asked me about the tires. They're a Moroso Drag Special, which look perfect. This is a 550/15. And by the way, on the back, we converted the thing to a bigger tire than what you've seen in other episodes. It now has a 31 by 1050 W on it, which means wider than actually 1050. And the wheels back there are a Shelby slot mag in 15 by 10. Ah, this thing's gonna be cool. All right, we're gonna bolt these things up. Okay, what do we have to do to make the suspension work?
Basically, we got to make sure that it's square and that it's going to plant the tires. A lot of it deals with the weight that the suspension puts down on the tires. So we're going to adjust everything neutral with you sitting in the driver's seat. We'll put it on the scales and scale it and make sure we adjust the suspension so that everything's even. And with that, it gives us a starting point going down the track.
So what's step 1? Center the rear end?
Yes, the step 1 would be to check left and right to make sure that the axle is in the car square.
Wheelbase.
Wheelbase.
Yeah.
And then once that's done, we'll make sure that it's centered left to right. And then we'll set the car on all 4s and make sure that the pinion angle is correct.
Yep.
And once that's set, We could basically make sure the car's level with the shocks. And once it's all rechecked, we'll then scale it and see what kind of weight we have on the rear tires.
All I heard was scale it, because that's all I want to know is what does it weigh?
Yeah, that's the big question tonight. But as you know, you've seen hundreds or thousands of cars go down to the drag strip, and they either go straight or they don't go straight, right? And it has to do with the weight on the rear tires and what the torque of the motor does to the chassis and how that transfers to the tire. It does different things. We have to have a starting point, so when we make adjustments, we know exactly where we're going to go with those adjustments.
Okay, Sam and I squared the rear end in the car, set the adjustments on all the bars and stuff. We still have to set some preload on it, which means it's finally time to answer the question I've been dying to know since the day I started this project, and the one that everybody asks me online. What does it weigh? We're about to find out.
Oh, this thing's gonna be pretty light.
I hope so.
Oh, dude, you're gonna be super happy.
I'm gonna be super happy.
It looks like it.
I heard one jack stand out. Oh, Sam, what do you think?
2430.
2446. And what do you think about the weight distribution?
I would say 49% rear, 51 front.
It's 50-50.
Really?
It is 50-50.
Wow. Are you happy?
This thing weighs nothing. All right, let me hop in.
Now we get to find out how much Freiburger weighs, right?
We should have done this before that burrito you ate.
Oh, I know. 2655.
Wow.
Okay, so I'm 205.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And the weight distribution just went to 51% rear.
Ooh, that's perfect.
Boom.
That's perfect.
I'm thinking of the only thing that could make me happier right now, which is if Sam breaks out the scoop that he made for the carburetors.
Well, this I've got to see.
There's a lot of styling elements of this car that Sam and I have just agonized over, one of which is the wheel and tire package that we've now perfected, the rubber rake, everything, the look of the engine. And now, I've never seen it before, but he's gonna reveal the carb scoop that he made for me. And, oh, that's gonna be so good.
You like it?
That is it, 100%. It's sort of surfer scoop, but sort of not.
And it's handcrafted by your pal Sam. How about that?
Well, so is the entire rest of the car. So, I haven't been this excited on Roadkill Garage in a long time. In the words of Gray Baskerville, it's so efficient. So much of Roadkill Garage is like hacking cars together for fun with me and Steve, just blasting them around. And there's a big difference when you have a vision that starts from scratch and you execute it with your buddies and it comes out exactly like you hoped. And that's what this moment is right now. The whole package of this thing is just like the most badass Model A there is on the planet, in my opinion, on this day. Now the question is, will I still have the same opinion tomorrow when we run it at the drag strip? Stuff could break, it could be slower than I hope. And if I'm in a really bad mood tomorrow when something breaks, remind me of this, that I have the exact Model A that I've been picturing in my head for more than a year. And no matter what breaks, we can fix it. Now I got a couple more hours to wrench on this thing, and then tomorrow, you'll see me even happier than I am right now. Well, it's Super Bowl Sunday in the rest of the world, but I don't really care about baseball, so we're here at Famoso Drag Strip. I've only owned this car for a few years, but the total amount that I've driven it is from the trailer over there to right here. Unfortunately, in that distance, we discovered an oil leak, and the oil that's leaking looks like it has water in it. So we started messing around with the thing, pulling off the valve covers, inspecting. It looks like the water is just condensation, and we think that the oil leak is because that Panovac system that I installed maybe is pressurizing the crankcase, probably. And so Steve's got it disassembled right now, and we're gonna fire it up and see if we can actually determine if the engine's got enough crankcase ventilation or not. And after that, we're gonna go ahead and change the oil. Ready for noise?
I'm ready. There's really no blow-by.
Really?
At all.
Do you want to check the end of that hose to see what it's doing?
Yeah.
Just so we know.
There's pure water coming out of this panty vac hose.
Really?
Yeah.
Why would that be?
I don't know. I just saw droplets in there. It looks like our theory right now is that the front timing cover is not fully tightened, especially the top bolt. We could definitely see seepage coming out of there when we cleaned off the area where the leak was originating. So we're going to go ahead and try to tighten that up. Hopefully that's going to take care of our problem. The moisture in the oil, likely just condensation. So we're going to change the oil anyway, get this thing put back together, verify that it looks okay, and take it down the track. Oh my God! Are you sure that's not used oil?
I know.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Let me see it. Well, it's definitely, the dye is blue.
Yeah.
How much are you going to put in there?
I want to put 2 more in. I can't really see where it's marked.
How's that even possible? Lucas, if you're paying attention, if you made the sight window more than 1 millimeter wide, you'd be able to discern exactly where the oil level is in the can.
Okay, it is right here. So that's, yeah, it's right there.
2.
See it? Look, now you can see it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. On this episode of Roadkill Garage, we figure out how much oil is in a bottle. Yeah!
We're pretty good.
Okay, I think it's good.
Yeah.
It's got 7 in. First thing I'm gonna do is just hop in and go drive the thing around, make sure that I'm comfortable with it, parts aren't falling off, make sure the brakes work, brake in the brake pads. I'm gonna find out if the torque converter will stall up to 5,000 RPM on the trans brake or not. Just sort of shake it down before I get it on the track and try and go fast. No smoke, no leaks, all the gauges are good. Next fun part, parachute. So this is required for any car by the NHRA that runs faster than 150 miles an hour in the quarter mile. And we have not rigged ours yet, although Sam made a mount for it. And so we're gonna have to hook this up to the car, pack it up into the bag, and it's a big ordeal. Nowhere near as fun as it seems to have a car with a parachute, in truth. Boy, this is the episode that keeps on delivering. First we had the hood scoop, then we had the parachute, and now wheelie bars. Another thing I have never had before. Now, I have to tell you the honest truth about why this car is gonna have wheelie bars, and it's because if it wheel stands really hard and falls back down, my back can't handle it. I've got an exploded disc from season 1 of Roadkill, jumping the Buick station wagon. And so I can't handle just a dead pancake drop like that if I lift out of it. So basically, that's a safety item. All right, we're gonna do this. It's gonna be the first 8th mile pass for the fraud. No, Sam, I got the crotch strap, it's okay. No, not this time. No. Okay, there we go. Okay, our plan here is to do a small burnout, about a 4,000 RPM launch. Wow!
All right, this is gonna be it. He's rolling up to the starting line. I'm checking out the beams. He hasn't pre-staged it yet. He's rolling up, rolling up.
All right, trans brake is on.
Okay, he's pre-staged, it's coming down. Go! Whoa, that hooked up hard. Yeah! 595 at 120 in the 8th. First pass ever. Boom.
Straight smooth, no problems, no drama. There's only 6,000 RPM at half track. All my gauges are good. And turning out. That was undramatic. Didn't even feel fast. Just dead straight down the hole. I shifted at 7,000 RPM. When I hit the 8th mile, it was at 6,000 RPM. I lifted, pulled the parachute, stopped dead straight and cleaned. Only 150 degrees of water temperature in the thing. Transmission's at 150 degrees. Right now, I think my only, I guess, concern is that the torque converter is only stalling to about 4,000. I have the rev limiter set to that right now. I'm gonna try and bump that up a little bit. I think it can leave harder. It only had a 1.4 60-foot time, which isn't that good. But the 8th mile number that I ran of 595, if you use the standard NHRA calculation for a conversion from 8th mile to quarter mile, it's 1.57. So if you take 5.95 times 1.57, you get 934. So the question is, if I actually leg this thing all the way out the back door, will it run 934 before we even begin tuning on the thing? We're gonna go for it. We pulled a spark plug out, and I can tell by looking at the ground strap on it that there's not enough ignition timing in the engine, and it's really, really rich. So we've still got some tuning room to go, but what we're gonna do is actually run it all the way out to the quarter the way it is right now, and then we will start to throw the Steve Dulcich tune-up at it.
All right, he's already staged. That drove off pretty good. We raised the two-step to 5,000 RPM, so there's a little bit better of a launch. Hopefully it translates to a better 60-foot. And, whoa, 911, 148. That's very close to an 8-second run and very close to 150 miles an hour.
That felt good. That felt good. Well, boys, I think we're gonna be somebody. 911 at 148. And it was doggy. I'm telling you, it's not fast.
Your 60-foot's still not there. You have
No.
you have a 10th in the 60-foot still.
It
left.
wouldn't even get to 5,000 RPM. It stalls
Yeah,
at
it's the converter.
4,600.
Yep.
It's all we've got. If this thing had a 5,500 converter, this thing would be in the 8s now.
Yeah, it was just driving off the line, basically.
Yeah. I think that we can put some timing in this thing and pull some
Jet.
fuel out of it.
Yep.
And probably get to our number.
I think so, 890. That's what I guessed.
That is crazy. All right, let's tune this thing up. Let's run 8s.
Let's do it.
First thing we're gonna do is check the ignition timing, and I'm probably gonna end up putting 3 or 4 degrees into it. And then we'll be changing the spark plugs and also jetting the thing to make it a little bit leaner. I think it's just way too rich. Here's the spark plugs that we took out. You can see that it's running a little bit rich, but you can also use these NGK plugs to judge the ignition timing based on where the heat mark is on the ground strap. You can see that right there is where I would call the timing mark is. And it's on the flat part of the ground strap before it makes the turn. And you actually want it just sort of over the other side of the turn. And so that's what's telling me that we can put another 2 degrees of ignition lead in it. So if it's 36 now, I can bump it to 38. And of course, we took 4 jet sizes out of it, which is a big step. It might be a little bit lean, we'll see. But I think we're gonna head the right direction. Now I'm gonna advance the ignition timing by 1, maybe 2 degrees. Now I'm not gonna do that up at the distributor. Because I have crank trigger ignition, the only thing the distributor is doing is spinning the rotor around and distributing the spark to all the different wires. The magnetic pickup is here on the front damper of the engine. And so with this MSD crank trigger, I can loosen 2 bolts, and there's little indicators that tell me what a 2-degree mark is. And I can take that magnetic pickup and slide it up by 2 degrees, therefore the magnet hits it sooner, therefore the ignition starts sooner. So it's actually a pretty easy way to do it, except for you have to get on your hands and knees in front of your engine like this.
I can tell. This may be the pass. Oh! Yeah! Yeah! could tell that thing launched better. Could you?
It was.
Oh! I had more RPM in the lights. I think I might have done it. That felt good, man.
You know what you ran?
I have no idea. 895 at 149.4. Yes! 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 Oh, I love you guys. I love this car.
Got your 8-handle, Freiburger.
Man, that has been a long, expensive, divorce-inducing road for both of us, right?
All right, that's a bro
The full
shake.
bro shake.
That's a bro shake.
The full.
Boom.
The full. Roll credits. Woo! And by the way, gentlemen, my personal quickest quarter-mile pass of all time.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I don't know about you guys, but I'm going to Disneyland.
Now it's like 2 weeks later, and remember at the track I was complaining a bunch how the torque converter was just way too tight? It wanted to stall at about 4,000, and I was finally able to eke it up, but it wasn't right. Well, I called Yank Converters, and they tuned me up. They asked a lot more questions about what was going on, and we've got a new one that we're gonna try. You know, on a race car like this, it's pretty common to have to adjust the converter a couple times to get it just right, and we're hoping that this thing will buy us another 1/10 or so. So instead of being 895s, which is barely in the 8s, we want to just kick that door down and be fully in the 8s. So now we're gonna lie on the floor, drain the transmission, and pull it out of the car. We got to disconnect all kinds of stuff here, like the temperature sender that's in the pan, and the trans brake wire, and the shift cable, the torque converter bolts. Take the dipstick tube out and then unbolt the bell housing, and it should drop right out. We also have a section of the frame back here that unbolts so that you can clear the transmission. Sam did that, and it was really smart, because otherwise you have to remove the engine to get the transmission off. Here's another couple things that need to be removed that I forgot to mention. One of which is the drive shaft, obviously, and the second of which is the water lines to my water-cooled Mazir oil pan. This is pretty unusual, but it works mint. I actually love it, except for that I'm pouring water all over myself right now. This should drain the entire top half of the engine block down to the water pump.
Do you find that sound soothing, Freiburger?
I gotta pee. Wow. Ow. Okay. This sucks. Oh, man.
It's the red Loctite. It's the curse of the red Loctite.
Okay. You got it? Wow. How are you planning on getting that back in?
Hammering it back in. It's almost off right now. Oh, look at that. Came right out.
All right, ready to pull this trans back?
Yeah. Hold on. Let me get a good handle on it.
There you go. It's off the dowels.
Can we move the whole assemblage back?
Let's see. Water's coming out of it. It's now tilting my way, which is bad. I definitely don't want to do the Roadkill Garage drop.
Well, that's why I'm holding everything. Is it far enough back to get the torque converter out of there?
No.
You know what I'm saying?
No, it's not.
It's close, though. I need to go back.
Yeah, but
Whoa! I've got it. I'm trying to hold this now.
lowering a skosh.
Oh, you're dropping it. What the heck? Lift it up, please.
I can get the converter out.
Okay, get the converter out then. You're sitting on the trans brakes all night, but I guess there's nothing much you could do about that.
It wouldn't come out. Now I got fluid everywhere, and I can't get it back in either.
We need to regroup.
This is not convenient at all. Okay, so we need to get this thing back up in.
Yeah.
Here comes up.
Up. Stop. Can we go more forward towards the engine?
Okay. How's that?
Okay. Basically, maybe we can drop it down from here and get this whole thing out at this point.
That's what he claimed. Okay, Sam was right, straight down. So we were trying to pull the transmission back enough to get the converter off, and that just wasn't gonna happen. We basically have to get off the dowels and straight down and pull the whole trans, and then we can get the converter off. There we go. Okay, here comes the torque converter, and still won't come. pull it. Can you pull it back? Ready?
I'm pulling it.
All right, now it'll come. Oh, this is terrible. It is just barely hanging on the end of the main shaft.
I can pull the transmission further back.
We're gonna have to. Okay, so that'll do it. Ready?
Yeah.
Finally. Man, that was inelegant.
Now we know. Whew! We have lead transmission fluid all over the shop floor.
Of course.
I thought with an elegant race car like this, the days of bleeding transmission fluid would be behind us.
I hoped so.
I kept my hair out of the tranny fluid, so that was actually a pretty good step forward.
That was embarrassingly difficult, but we did get the torque converter out of the car. So the goal here is to get a converter with a higher stall speed. What is stall speed? Well, on this, you've got a trans brake, and so it's locking the first and reverse gears together so that the drive shaft can't move at all. And with the trans brake engaged, when you go to wide open throttle, it will accelerate up to the stall speed of the torque converter and stop there. So our old one was about 4,000 RPM comfortably, although it would creep higher than that. And what I'm looking for is about 5,000 comfortably, maybe 5,200. And so I called Yank Converters, told them what was going on, and they scienced me out a different converter. Now, typically, a smaller converter, overall diameter, tends to stall higher than a larger converter. Once again, things about like the stator and turbine design can affect that. But look how I've got this caliper set at the overall diameter of my old converter. Then I go over here and put it on the new one, and I can see that I've got about a finger width, about half an inch difference between these two converters. So I'm hoping that this one will stall at 5,000 to 5,200 and make the car at least a tenth or so quicker.
Did that just go all the way in?
Up. Up. You okay?
Yeah, I've got a severely heavy racing transmission. I'm supporting my bare hands at this point.
Okay, I have a bolt threaded in.
Okay. Well, in that case, I can relax. I was just playing it up for Freiberger a little bit there. Actually, the jack was doing most of the supporting.
Our new Yank converter is installed. Now, the great thing about having a trans brake is we're gonna be able to test the stall speed right here in the shop. So here's how the procedure is gonna go. I'm gonna put on some earmuffs, get in the car, fire it up, run through the gears, and we're gonna let the fluid fill up in that torque converter because it's not completely full. Steve's gonna check the fluid. He's gonna probably top off about a quart in it. And then I'm gonna get in, put it in first gear, hit that trans brake, go to wide open throttle, and we're ready to yank it. Our first test went to 5,000 RPM because that's where I had the two-step rev limiter set. Now I've got it at 5,500, and we're gonna try it again. Right there, 5,500 RPM. Okay. I think we're satisfied. It went to 5,500 RPM. It might stall higher, but we'll mess with that once we get to the actual drag strip, which will be the next scene you see on Roadkill Garage. Boom! We're back at Famoso Drag Strip. The only change we've made here is that torque converter. I'm gonna leave the tune-up alone. We're gonna throw the wheelie bars on it. We're gonna run the wheelie bars a little bit higher than last time we were here. It's 9 a.m., they're prepping the track, and what's the barometer?
30.2.
Yes.
So mine shaft air.
Exactly.
If that converter works, this should turn the number.
It should,
That-
baby.
Fingers crossed, man.
I know it. So at this point in the tuning process, I'm changing plugs almost every pass so I can get a read on them. And when I pull the other side out, I looked at the ground strap and decided I'm also gonna put one more degree of timing in this thing. After that, we're gonna park it on the starting line, Dial in the wheelie bars and heading down track.
All we can do is watch it go down the track and see what it does. Now, that looked good. .888 or 148. That is a new best for the car. And you know what? I think it can leave cleaner, too.
Wow! I was way out of the groove. Man! $888?
Yeah.
Dude, look at that.
It lifted the front tires, but then it just
did.
unloaded the rear suspension.
Right, when it hit the wheelie bar.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we got to do something because that's a mess.
Yeah.
888. We're going the right direction with the fraud.
Well, it's a good thing that I got that 8.88 second pass with my very first run off the trailer with this brand new torque converter, because honestly, after that, we started to struggle. The engine just didn't want to build RPM at the line, and it was acting weird. We weren't sure if it was valve train or ignition or the converter itself. And I guess I won't speculate because at this point, I honestly don't even know. But that's okay, because that gives me an opportunity for a future episode where we go even quicker with the F-Rod, because we can sort out that problem. Plus, it's clear that I still need to get my act together on figuring out how those wheelie bars work in order to get the perfect launch. But even so, we went 1.213 seconds to the 60-foot with this thing. And of course, 888 at 148.34 miles an hour. One of the things that makes this awesome to me is that I was calling this my shakedown combo. I said that 572 Chevy was my training wheels engine, and I never even expected it to get me into the 8s, but it did. It was my first run in the 8s of the quarter mile, and 888 is my quickest pass ever. And that engine, the very same short block that I assembled myself like more than a decade ago, also had sent me to my fastest run ever at the Bonneville Salt Flats of 261.602 miles an hour. So for me, the whole F-Rod buildup and racing has been a win, even if it's not flawless just yet. You know what is perfect though, is making dreams happen with your buddies, and I gotta thank Steve and Sam for going the long road with me with this car.
Well, the first track day ended with a lot of glory as we went 8s for the very first time with this thing. Today, I think that we showed that new converter was a radical improvement. That first launch, the wheelie bars were a disaster, but the thing just carried the wheels and went 888 at 148 miles an hour. And, you know, I hate to always have to end these shows in a bench race, but I think this thing clearly runs like in the 870s if you get it all right, maybe even better than that.
See, now you're smiling. And I'm feeling better too. And you really should, because we did run the best time ever with this car today, before the gremlins showed up.
And we achieved all my goals. We went 8s naturally aspirated, 888, that's legit.
Right.
And we did it super simple.
Right.
You know, mechanical fuel pump, no EFI, no boost, no nitrous. None of that. And I was about to say a super simple ignition system, but that one might have bit us. We'll see.
Maybe it needed to be simpler. We have to switch to points or something.
I don't know. Maybe it's my wiring. Anyway, 8s NA. And if it gets even better in the future, you can bet that you will see that in an upcoming episode of
Roadkill Garage.
That one.
As great as the F-Rod has been, I am super excited for what's coming next. Watch this next scene as I reveal what's coming up in the second half of the season of Roadkill Garage.
Man, this is gonna be a story about the one that got away. You ever sell a car and then you want it back really bad? Well, what if that car is the General Mayhem? Yep. This is the 1968 Dodge Charger that we built in the earliest days of Roadkill. And as a matter of fact, my favorite episode of all time is the one where we took and put a motorhome 440 in this thing. And as you may recall, we then did that race that Dodge put us up to against Gas Monkey Garage and ended up installing a Hellcat engine, or having it installed for us, honestly. And we lost that race. And ever since then, the car's kind of been sitting around. We've done a few little things with it, burnouts and stuff. But in the second half of Roadkill Garage, coming up later in the year, we are going to return the General Mayhem to original motorhome 440 power. I want to basically restore the car to nearly exactly the way it was when we took it to Dirtfish, which, by the way, was one of the greatest days in the history of Roadkill. This was the very first muscle car ever to have a Hellcat swap. And to do it, Diversified Creations had to install everything from a late model Charger, all the electronics and everything, because the technology didn't exist right at that moment in order to do standalone power on it. And so it features the stock brand new Charger gas tank, the console, the dash, the master cylinder. All of that stuff is gonna be out of here. All right, let's see if it'll even run. All right, I think that works. If it runs, I'm gonna load it on the trailer and you will see it on an upcoming episode of Roadkill Garage. There we go.
Oh, that's a big beetle on me? That's a stink bug.
Let's go to this pants.
What else is there? So I'm gonna loosen these two bolts, and there's, on the MSD crank trigger, there's little...
The bee literally landed on my nose.
Yeah, now the bee's on me.
Don't worry about the bee. Be one with the bee. The bee roll.